Good morning. I'm Janette De La Rosa Ducat, my father's second child, and behalf of my mom, Virgie, and my sisters, the De La Rosa family would like to thank you for loving my father and being here today. My father was not a traditional man, and so because of that, we are not going to have a traditional eulogy. His life story is in the program, so you may read that, but what we thought we would do, my sisters and I, is to share with you 10 lessons that my father taught us through 10 pictures or more. My father was a musician, self-taught, natural musician who learned by ear. He can play the guitar, the bass, the keyboard, and the drums. Did you know that he was in a band? Many bands. He would pack his daughters in a car, drive us to somebody's garage, and they would play all night, and they would smoke up the garage, and sometimes they forgot where their daughters were, but that's how we got close, and that's how we learned all the Beatles music growing up. His favorite instrument was the guitar. His favorite guitar is this blue Fender right here. He played it all the time. In the middle of the night, he would wake us up trying to play something from Eric Clapton because he loved the guitar so much. But when he got older, he couldn't play anymore because his arthritis stopped him from playing. But he didn't stop music, he kept playing the drums instead. So that's my lesson number 1 that I learned. Play music as loud as you can, even if it hurts. My dad had many friends. He introduced us to you all here when we were little. They were with him throughout his whole life, and they raised us like we were your daughters as well. And he wanted to get old with you. And you know what? He said that he did. In the program, he said that if getting old means growing old with you, then that's okay. Days are just numbers of hours and years will pass by, but he had you guys throughout his childhood. So that's lesson number 2. Find friends, find people you can grow old with. My dad was a cool guy. He's even wearing his sunglasses now, today. He wore sunglasses every single time we took a photo. Even in his daughter's weddings, he wore sunglasses. And no matter where he was, he wanted to be that guy we thought who was really cool. He had long hair and a bandana. He wore Harley Davidson clothes. And that taught me lesson number 3, that you can be cool even in your 60s. My dad's most prized vehicle was a Harley Davidson. He wanted to have one so much when he was a young boy. So much that he bought one before he knew how to ride it. So he brought it home, dropped it a couple of times, kind of screamed at it, but then he picked it right back up. And my dad took classes. He learned how to ride the motorcycle. He took a test, he got his license, and before you know it, he was driving across country with a Pinoy Harley group. And that was my lesson from my dad. Always learn something new, no matter how old you can get. My father was a brother to 19 brothers and sisters, and he had families on 2 sides. My grandmother and then my Lola Angelina had the other half of my aunts and uncle. But he never treated any side like they were more important than the other. And that was the strongest lesson that I learned from my dad that no matter who they are, you treat them like they're 100% your whole family. Treat everybody like family, no matter where they come from. My dad's greatest joy was going pasyal, or cruising, or bringing us out. He would pack us into a very uncomfortable car with no air conditioning and no snacks and no iPad. And sometimes he would forget we were in the back of his pickup truck when he turned right, and then we would roll over to the left. It was really scary, but you know what? My dad loved to take us out. He loved to give us something that we could never buy. And he didn't have much. He had not much money, but my dad had a car. And as long as he had a car, he taught us lesson number 6, that you can go out and you can take your kids and give them the world. My father was a gardener. He was always watering something or planting or cutting my trees, and he could grow things you can never buy or see in the store. Amazing things that I'm probably going to steal from my parents' house. And a lot of exotic things, a lot of interesting things that were not legal to grow. He talked about in the 70s, he used to smoke out with you guys. And he had a lot of stuff in the house. And it was okay. You know, when he grew older, he had a lot of ailments, a lot of things that kind of hurt him, so he kept growing these things. But I noticed that the marijuana stuff actually made him feel better. It calmed him down, and his joints stopped hurting. And so that is my lesson number 7. You can grow and you can heal yourself. My dad was a father of 3 beautiful girls, but they were girls, and they gave him a lot of headaches, especially that one, who got pregnant when she was 15 and I was 16, so we gave him a lot of heartache. We were very difficult. But he never cared that he had daughters. He loved us so much. And the best thing about that is we gave him more than twice as many sons. He has 8 grandsons, 1 great-grandson, and it doesn't matter that he had 3 daughters. Because at the end of the day, your daughters, this is lesson number 8, your daughters will gift you sons. And the very first sons he had were my brother-in-law George, my brother-in-law Jesse, and my husband Joey. 3 sons that he treated like his own and loved kind of more than he loved his own daughter sometimes. That's okay. My father was a proud American. He came here in the United States on the 4th of July. He always loved to talk about politics and American government. On his helmet, he had "Support Our Troops," and he was so proud of his grandsons who were in the military. His grandson, Anthony J., Technical Sergeant of the U.S. Air Force, Second Lieutenant Justin of the U.S. Army Reserves National Guard. He loved being American, but you know what? He also loved being proud of being Filipino. And he would leave little clues of the Filipino Sun Star all over. And he was part of the Pinoy Harley group. Lesson number 9 is no matter what adversity you face in a country foreign from you that treats you so badly, you still stand proud and be a proud Filipino American. And finally, he met my mom when she was 15 and he was 19. They were kind of, I don't know, he was an adult, picking her up after school. And they have been together since they came here to America, probably a couple months after they came. They've been together for 50 years. They love to eat. All their Facebook pictures are food. And that was what brought them both joy. And he didn't show emotion very much. He probably never told many of you that he did love you. He was very inwardly. But when my mom wasn't looking, he would take selfies with her. He secretly loved to take pictures of her. He thought she was pretty. And that's lesson number 10 from my father. Find somebody and live a very long life together. Thank you for sharing my father with me. And remember, we're really happy to be here because this is our celebration of life with him together.